So I'll briefly talk about. Coming to you live from our studios here on the John Hammond Street in Ghana's capital, Accra. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Weekend Central, live here on TV3. We're also on DSTV, channel 279. I'm Godwin Asidiba.
And I am Judith Brown, coming up this afternoon.
In the bulletin, Minority Caucus in Parliament condemns violence in Ablekuma North election rerun, accusing NDC members of inciting lawlessness.
And National Security Task Force, in collaboration with local task force in Northern Region, seizes and destroys opioids worth millions. Welcome once again to the bulletin. We start in Parliament because it is in session today, Saturday, July 12th, chaired by the First Deputy Speaker, Bernard Ahiafo. Our correspondent, Christian Yali, is covering proceedings and joins me with more details on this. Christian, good afternoon. Now, this is not usual for Parliament to sit on Saturday. Tell us what really is prompting this.
Exactly, Judith. You know that when Parliament is nearing recess or nearing adjournment sine die, usually sitting is extended to cover Mondays and Saturdays, so as to be able to clear the workload and the loads of work that they have to do. Currently, I can speak to you about the Fisheries and Aquaculture Bill, for instance, which has been at the consideration stage for a number of days this week. What it means is that there are even more legislative instruments that are going to mature within this period before the House would go on recess. And so to be able to accommodate this workload and be able to clear the backlog before they go on recess, Parliament is extending its sittings to include Mondays and Saturdays. What we even know, obviously, is that by the end of July, the House is expected to go on recess, which is something that was confirmed yesterday by the Deputy Majority Leader, George Kweku Rekethagen, after he presented the business statement for next week. And so that is why we have the House sitting today. And as it were, you know, the numbers or the attendance of the MPs wouldn't be, as it were, on the regular basis. But I can even say that today is very, very encouraging, because on the majority side, you have MPs in their numbers and a number of MPs on the minority side as well who are well represented. But Judith, you know that talking about Parliament, yesterday the Ablekuma North election happened, where the NDC won, and so we expect that very soon, and as it were, the candidate who is now the MP-elect, Rabin Bain, would be in Parliament to join the colleagues here, which only goes ahead to further strengthen the dominance of the majority side in Parliament. I have some MPs here that I want to engage on their thought on the election and the outcome thereof. Here with me right now is Mavis Kukwa Bisiu, who is the MP for Ahanta West. She herself is a first-timer, and so I want to get from you your thought on the victory of Rabin Bain and what it means to you, even knowing yourself to be the first-time MP, and your expectations of her going forward.
Thank you, Christian, and good afternoon. What I would say is we are very excited for the win, for NDC as a whole, and for us as a majority. We are excited for her to join us in Parliament, and I know she's been through a lot. The weight alone, if it was me, I wouldn't know what I would have done, but I think she's done it. So finally, she's going to be part of us, and then we are happy for her to come and join us.
Great stuff. But I want to pick your thought also on the chaotic scenes that characterized the polls yesterday. We recorded instances like that during the Ayawaso West Ogun by-election. Yesterday, here again, we have this happening. Ghana has been touted as one of the countries with strong democracy. These are some of the things that erode the gains that the country makes. What do you make of it?
I wouldn't say it's a good thing. And sometimes when elections are happening or when we go into the polls, there are people who I'd say would just go to the extreme to make sure that whether their person wins or if, especially when they see their person is losing, so they will do anything to get in there to cause problems. It doesn't mean it's right. And I believe that as a country that is practicing democracy, we should try as much as possible to contain these things as people, because it's not about us individuals, it's about the whole Ghana. Whatever we have to do has to be okay for Ghana. So if you're going in there just to cause trouble because your person is losing and all that, I don't think it's right. So moving forward, I think we should be able to check ourselves and then contain these things, have patience, and not cause troubles when it comes to elections. Because I believe that with Ghana, a lot of African countries watches us, or they actually look up to us when it comes to some of these things. So we should just be careful moving forward. That's what I'll say.
Thank you so much. So, Judith, that was the MP for Ahanta West, Mavis Kuku-Abisu, sharing a thought on the chaotic scenes. But I also have with me Professor Titus Beo. You've done a couple of stories with him as well. The MP for Lambusi. Beginning from the chaotic scenes, the minority leader has, shared a post on social media, which I have cited. And by extension, he has condemned the NDC and in his own words for weaponizing violence. Accuses your party for, orchestrating some of the dastardly acts that we saw yesterday. What are your thoughts?
All right, let me say, first of all, congratulations to our colleague, Rabina Obing, for winning this, and also to the good people of Ablekuma North. At least there are a lot of good takeaways from yesterday. And the first one is that we did not have a representation in Parliament. For 6 months we've been here, they have not had anybody to represent them, which is unfortunate. And I'm happy that we've brought closure to it. The events of yesterday were largely peaceful, except for 1 or 2 incidents, which are very condemnable. I want to condemn the assault on the former Member of Parliament, Howard Kumsin, and Minister. I want to condemn the assault on the media. These are unacceptable for a democracy that is 32 years thereabout. And I think that utterances like that of the minority leader doesn't help. Pointing accusing fingers. He's the same person who says that tit for tat, do me, I do you, is not the way we should be going. And so if something like this has happened, the least we expect of a leader of his kind is quickly assigning blame. We should allow the security agencies to work. I condemn these attacks. Any violence anywhere in an election is not acceptable. It can happen to me, it can happen to him, it can happen to anybody. But what has the security agencies done? We can see that the police have taken action. Somebody who is alleged to have slapped a journalist or assaulted them has been interdicted. That is swift. This has not ever happened. Even when you look at the case of Ayawaso West Wogon, another condemnable issue. When a commission was set up, inquiry was done, we saw what became of it. All the recommendations of punitive actions were trashed. That is not right then. It won't be right now. I am hopeful that under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, the Election Security Task Force, when they investigate this thoroughly, anybody that is found culpable should be punished. We should not say it was done then, we should do the same thing now. Violence in any form of election is condemnable, but the least we expect of anybody now is to be making prejudicial comments, pointing, accusing fingers of one party or the other.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. So that is Professor Titus Beo. He's also the board chair of the Kolebu Teaching Hospital and also a member of the Health Committee of Parliament. So Judith, really, across the divide, it is something that has been condemned, that violence in election is a no. Right. I don't know what your thoughts are personally, as well as even Godwin, but really, MPs are rallying behind the call that we should solidify our democracy better going forward to ensure that some of these nasty acts are not recorded.
Many thanks for your time, Christian Yali. And of course, we're hoping that we do indeed solidify our democracy. And of course, the police should be doing much better than they did yesterday in that election. We're going to do some more stories. Gordon is standing by.
Let's talk the Ablekuma North rerun. A violent clash marred what was expected to be a peaceful rerun of the parliamentary elections at Ablekuma North yesterday. The Doko Methodist Church, one of the 19 designated polling stations, became the epicenter of chaos as tensions between political parties, supporters erupted into physical confrontations. My colleague Stanley Nibleo chronicles the disturbing events in the following report.
The Odoko Methodist Church hosted one of the 19 polling stations for the rerun of the Ablekuma North parliamentary election. But even before polls opened, tensions were high. Citing security concerns from the December 7 elections, church authorities initially declined to allow the Electoral Commission to use the premises. It took the intervention of the EC officials from the headquarters to get the process underway under a heavy police presence. However, what began as a peaceful process quickly took a violent turn. Supporters of the two leading political parties clashed at a nearby Gulf War station. The confrontation reportedly started when an NDC supporter ordered NPP loyalists who had accompanied Hawa Kumsin and the parliamentary candidate Nana Ekwe to vacate the area. A response from the NPP supporters triggered an altercation. NPP MP for Ekwapim North, Samia Uku accused the NDC of intimidation.
I told the announcing officer that I've seen large-scale intimidation, and then perhaps you've also seen that a whole number of young NPP people too are also massing up here. So it's going to be a game of equal.
Shortly after, Nana Ekwe requested for reinforcement of party boys at the polling station in a phone conversation.
We need more men. We need men.
The already volatile situation worsened when the white pickup truck carrying tags arrived at the polling station. They first physically assaulted a man believed to be their target. They proceeded to overpower the police stationed at the gate, forcing their way into the inner perimeter. The police, despite their numbers, were unable to control the chaos. Former Ewutu Senya East MP Mavis Hawa Kumsin, who was observing the process, also became a victim. Though she carried what looks like pepper spray, she was unable to defend herself in time. She was eventually rescued by the police, but the violence continued. Electoral Commission officials also fled for safety. At the gate, a deputy NPP youth organizer attempting to gain access to the inner perimeter, upon hearing of Hawa Kumsin's assault, was confronted by visibly angry thugs. A scuffle ensued, resulting in a brutal attack when he attempted fleeing for safety. As the violence intensified, a Joy News journalist identified as Sally was also attacked. One of the perpetrators who started the assault later returned to apologize to the journalist, but her colleagues rejected the apology.
Let him go. It is impossible. Let him go. Let him go. Who brought him here?
The tag attempted to justify the assault on Hawa Kumsin.
She had been here for a long time, but we didn't know until she instigated an assault on one of our colleagues.
The violent disruption halted the electoral process for more than 2 hours. Similar incidents were reported at other polling stations, where GH1 journalist was slapped by a police officer who has since been interdicted by the Ghana Police Service. The events at the Ablekuma North election rerun highlight a worrying trend of political intolerance, lawlessness, and inadequate crowd control at polling centers. Despite the presence of security personnel, political thuggery overshadowed the democratic process. With multiple assaults on civilians, politicians, and journalists, stakeholders are now demanding urgent reforms stronger enforcement of electoral security protocols, and accountability for perpetrators of electoral violence to restore the public confidence in Ghana's democratic process. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Ablekuma North, Accra.
Now, we're going to stay on this particular topic because the Minority Caucus in Parliament has condemned acts of violence and lawlessness that disrupted the parliamentary rerun election across 19 polling stations in the Ablekuma North constituency. Our Minority Leader Alexander Penywa-Marking, in a statement signed on behalf of the caucus, accused members of the National Democratic Congress of inciting and perpetrating violent acts. The Minority Caucus specifically named Malik Basentali, who's a Deputy National Communications Officer, and Mustafa Bande, Deputy General Secretary, as key instigators caught on video directing and encouraging the disturbances. Well, the caucus also accused the police service of complicity, claiming officers stood by as the violence unfolded despite earlier warnings of possible disruptions. Well, Mustafa Bande is the NDC Deputy General Secretary. He's joining us for more details on this. Good afternoon, Senna. How do you respond to the accusations that you were seen on video directing or encouraging disturbances during the Ablekuma North rerun?
Well, I think that, thank you very much and good afternoon to our cherished listeners. I have already stated in my response. And indeed, I believe that the Honorable Minority Leader was not on the ground. He couldn't have had his statement accurate. That statement you see there is a barefaced lie. It's not true. I was not on the scene. I was only invited to where the incident occurred after Samia Uku of MPP alerted me that there were some situations on the ground and that we needed to collaborate to de-escalate. That was when I went back to the scene. At the time, Honorable Howard Kumsen was being detained by the police for safety. And then it was at the point when a young man wearing smoke came into the crowd and was talking to me. So I was asking him to go back so that we can de-escalate the situation. By the time I realized, another group came from the top to come and attack him. In fact, even after the incident, I had to call him. I realized that he was the deputy, I think, regional organizer or national organizer of the MPP. I called him, spoke with him, checked up on him. Then I moved further to where Honorable Howard Kumsen was being kept at Cashew police station to check up on her, and then ensured that she was taken to the hospital from where she was. My car, my driver, was the one who actually drove her out of the scene to the hospital. So it is quite bizarre and far from the evidence available and on the ground for a minority leader who himself was not on the ground, who didn't participate in the election, to make such disingenuous statements purporting to attack my reputation. Look, Malik Basentali, at the time the incident occurred, Malik wasn't there. It was when I was de-escalating, then I saw Malik coming down. So I spoke to Malik and told him to move away with the young men, his fans who were following him, because we're de-escalating the situation to allow voting to continue at that area. So Malik was not actually there. Where did Penywa-Marking get his evidence from? Is it because he should just mention names to try and put us into some kind of public ridicule? Who is more treacherous than Penywa-Marking in his constituency? Where in 2024 election, he allegedly kidnapped my vice chairman in his constituency, where a parliamentary independent candidate aspirant was beaten and taken to court. Penywa-Marking ensured that he was remanded. Who is more treacherous than Penywa-Marking? But that is not to suggest that I support any act of violence. I was there to perform my role as a Deputy General Secretary and also to protect the interests of the party and as a government official. At no point can any violence be traced to me. Your journalists, your colleagues who were on the ground will attest to the fact that when the incident occurred, I was almost the most senior officer on the ground, calming tensions between the MPP and the NDC supporters. So how would it turn that it is not as if I'm being held responsible for what has happened, that I was inciting, I have ordered, and I have asked such violence acts to occur? Where did Apenyo Markins get that report from? It is not true.
Right. Many thanks for your time, and we'll definitely follow up on this developing story, but we have more stories for you.
I'm grateful.
Private legal practitioner Martin Pigu says government should take action on the Ayawaso West Wogon by-election report before acting on the chaos in the just-ended Ablekuma North parliamentary election rerun. He spoke earlier on Key Points.
Yesterday, I'm not equalizing anything, but I mean, truth also be told. The moment I saw this, then my mind went back to Ayawaso West Wogon. The report is there, gathering dust. Those who were supposed to be paid compensation, not all of them were paid. I remember the last time, even when JM was in opposition, he had to support some of the victims.
He visited them.
Yeah, thank you. Visited them, etc. Attorney General Godfrey Damne Kufuado, etc., Finance Minister, they didn't do the needful, at least for a long time. The last time that matter was in the news. Double, etc., were to be prosecuted. Nothing happened. So as soon as I saw it, I said, you see, that's the impunity we've been talking about. We beat this report several times here. That, look, do the needful, do the prosecutions. Government said no. Ekufuado, cheerleader, giving this hoodlum sucker. So that is what has come back to haunt us. Because you think the ones who caused this violence, even though this one you can see clearly that it was our Kumsin who first sprayed them, you think they would allow themselves to be prosecuted? No. So if we want justice in this matter, please pick up the Ayawaso West Wogon Commission report. Start from that place. Start from Ayawaso West Wogon. If you don't, this one can't go to court. It won't happen. Because then it's like, are some people more citizens than others? So if you want justice, please pick up the Ayawaso West Wogon Commission report.
Still on the Ablekuma North parliamentary rerun chaos, and a professor of political science, Rasford Jampo, has cautioned political activists against taking the laws into their own hands. He spoke on Key Points whilst reacting to the chaos and attacks on former Member of Parliament for Ewutu Senya East, Mavis Hawa-Kumsen.
And I was saddened, I was worried that those who allowed Hawa-Kumsen to go there, I think politically they miscalculated. You see, this is a woman who has a past, a certain past, okay, of having either herself directly perpetrated electoral violence or having had her followers done some of these things that had led to lives being lost. So she was not expected, in my view. She wasn't supposed to go there. Otherwise, once you go there, it's like you are daring, those other people there. And then you went there with a weapon. Okay, so look, I would not sit here to legitimize or to fund or to justify the kinds of things that happened to her. I'm saying that so many things have happened in the past. And these things have created a certain culture of impunity, that during elections, during by-elections, you can do some of these things and nothing will happen to you. It's because we never address them, fully. Now, so the anger of those who did these things can be understandable. But my appeal to them is that in fledgling democracies, if you have wise people and discerning people also residing in those fledgling democracies, then what we want to say is that two wrongs can never make a right.
Now, President John Dramani Mahama has ordered the Transport Minister and Attorney General to make sure all fees charged by shipping lines are ratified and approved by Parliament, failure to which he has described it as illegal and unwarranted. Well, the President was reacting to complaints by the Ghana freight forwarders who have lamented the charges are inimical to revenue generation of the country. The President was clear in giving his marching orders.
One of the major complaints is about the shipping lines. Everybody is complaining about the shipping lines. We held a meeting not too long ago. I think GRA was there, the different groups, the Minister of Transport and all of them were there. And we cannot understand that, like he said, you charge an administrative charge for processing my container. And so you process my container administratively on a piece of paper. And I bring one container. And then he brings 20 containers. The same paper is the same administrative. Why would you don't do it one paper for every container? The paper just says 20 containers. This one says one container. By the time you spend in administering those containers, it's the same. So why charge for each one? And the thing is, when I inquired, they don't do that in Lome. They don't do that in any other port, only in Ghana. And so it really doesn't, make sense. We charged the Minister of Transport to go into it and sit with the shipping lines and look into those administrative charges. And the point is, the law says that fees and levies shall be ratified by Parliament. And so nobody can come and charge any fees within the jurisdiction of Ghana. Oh, okay. I think I hit some nail on the head. Because we consulted the Attorney General, and you cannot charge any fee or levy within the territories of Ghana without parliamentary approval. And so that must be rectified as soon as possible. And so we charged the Minister of Transport and the Attorney General to make sure that those fees are brought to Parliament for approval before they can charge those fees.
The Industrial and Commercial Workers Union says the $4 billion allocation for the 24-hour economy is woefully inadequate. The union wants government to increase funding to make the policy competitive and capable of creating sufficient jobs. Meanwhile, ICU plans to meet with the Ministry of Trade, Industry and Agribusiness to discuss the sudden cancellation of the one district, one factory policy.
The General Secretary of ICU, Morgan Ayawene, was addressing the Professional and Managerial Staff Union of ICU in Accra. He recounted the decision by government to roll out the 24-hour economy policy geared towards job creation. Already, some business stakeholders have raised concerns over the policy. Experts stressed the need for reliable power and adequate security for factories, especially in pharmaceuticals and manufacturing, to operate smoothly. The Trades Union Congress, TUC, and the Ghana National Association of Teachers, NAT, are calling for decent job creation while encouraging local consumption of produced food. Meanwhile, the Industrial and Commercial Workers Union ICU says government funding of $4 billion for the policy is woefully inadequate. ICU General Secretary Morgan Ayawene insists more investment is needed.
Several policies, that were designed to deal with unemployment failed. When are we going to succeed? This time, we dare not fail.
In a related development, the Minister of Trade and Agribusiness has cancelled the one district, one factory policy. ICU says it will engage the sector minister on the decision.
Once we have positioned ourselves as a union to continue to engage, very soon we'll sit down with the policy makers, the government of the day, to really appreciate what informed the decision to cancel the one district, one factory.
Additionally, ICU urged all organizations to respect employee rights.
It was becoming very, very difficult for people to appreciate and understand their fundamental human rights. So in the course of time, we took trade union education to the doorsteps of our members at various institutions, various companies.
You're still tuned in to Weekend Central live on TV3. We are also on DSTV channel 279. We're going for a quick commercial break. We'll be back shortly. My name is Godwin Asidiba. Don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. You're still watching Weekend Central. Now, the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwifery Association is expressing disappointment over government's decision to include only 2 of their proposed allowances in the mid-year budget. Well, the association says the move is inadequate and could threaten the country's peaceful industrial climate after Tuesday, July 15.
Conference in Accra, President of the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, GNMA, Perpetual Foriampofo, revealed that government has plans to include just 2 items, the book and research and uniform allowances in the 2025 mid-year budget. The remaining demands, such as fuel allowances and the 8% rural incentive, are now being deferred to the 2026 budget.
It is 2 out of the 8, so it doesn't make it a good outcome of the engagements that we have had. All we want to let you understand is that what we feel is that we are not being treated fairly as nurses and midwives.
On July 10, leaders of the association met with the Parliamentary Select Committee to press home their demands. But government, through the committee, only committed to 2 allowances in the immediate budget, offering little clarity on timelines for the rest. A follow-up meeting has now been scheduled for Tuesday, July 15, with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. The Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association says this meeting is crucial and must yield results or risks upsetting the current industrial peace.
The reasons for the non-inclusion of the 8% non-basic allowance and the full allowance in the mid-year budget are untenable, and therefore the leadership of the association will avail itself for the meeting scheduled for Tuesday, 15 July 2025 by the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission to discuss these further and push for their inclusion in the mid-year budget.
In a related development, the association also warning the Christian Health Association of Ghana, CHAG, to stop what it describes as intimidation of its members.
We have asked our lawyers to also send them a letter, and we have stated clearly, if they go by what they have communicated to the heads of their facilities or agencies, we are going to take them on, one after the other. We will take them on because it's unfair labor practice to intimidate or to discriminate against a single nurse or a midwife or a group of nurses or midwives for participating in an action that was directed by their trade union.
The coming days will be crucial as nurses and midwives await firm commitments from government, with the stakes higher than ever. This meeting with the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission is scheduled for July 15. All eyes will be on the outcome as tensions continue to simmer within the health sector.
Let's take more stories. The 3FM Baby Fair is back bigger and better with the 3rd edition of the much anticipated event currently underway at Marina Mall in Accra. It's a vibrant gathering of parents, caregivers and industry experts all coming together to explore the latest in baby care, parenting essentials and family wellness. We cross over to my colleague AJ Sapong, who is currently at the Marina Mall, to bring us to speed on exactly what is happening and if indeed parents are coming in. AJ, take over.
Our camera person will come with us. We have our Games on Wheels aspect over here. So Games on Wheels is giving us adult-friendly games. So whether it's the table tennis, whether it's the basketball, whether it's we have the amazing dominoes, the chess, all the exciting with it. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen, live on TV3. We are passing over live from Marina Mall Airport City, Accra. My name is AJ Stapp, and I'm here with the one and only
Asoroba Thunder.
And then we are going through some of the amazing sites you can find here at the 3FM Baby Fair. Starting off with our tower. So courtesy Jump for Joy, we're doing some amazing kids experience areas here at the 3FM Baby Fair. We have our tower going on. We have multiple bouncy castles. The kids are having a great time. We have from all the good things to eat, from cotton candy to ice cream to all the amazing stuff in between. Also, we have amazing vendors that we'll be speaking to very shortly who have all kinds of experience here for us, for the kids to have a great time. So let's speak to some of the children, shall we? Hello, sweetie. What's your name?
It's bigger and better indeed. So if you're at home, grab your kids and head to the Marina Mall where the 3FM Baby Fair is happening. But Judith, the police has been worried about something.
Absolutely, and the Inspector General of Police has expressed worry at the alarming spread of firearms among young people. In a speech read on his behalf by ACP Agnes Borden, COP Christian Tete Yohonu decried the potential insecurity and long-term harm for individuals, promising to clamp down on the menace.
April 4, 2025, a 16-year-old Form 2 student of the Adventist SHS in Kumasi brought a locally manufactured pistol to show his classmates. On May 14 this year, another 16-year-old student of Osei Chirutue SHS in the Ashanti region was also caught on campus with a locally manufactured gun. These incidents have attracted the attention of UNDP and Small Arms Commission. Speaking at the launch of the school-based advocacy program at O'Reilly SHS, ACP Agnes Bording, who read a speech for the IGP, bemoaned the spread of firearms among the youth.
In the Arms and Ammunition Regulations, it is specified, among other requirements, that to own a gun, the person should have a safe place to keep it, preferably in a safe under lock and key. This helps to prevent the abuse and also prevent our children and other people from having easy access to them. The way forward. The control of illicit arms and ammunition proliferation is a shared responsibility. It requires a collective effort and tough measures to address this menace. It calls for regular stakeholders meeting to discuss challenges and its usage in the country, whilst finding a lasting solution towards their control.
The headmaster of O'Reilly SHS, Francis Inieje, appealed to government and stakeholders to step up advocacy efforts and educate the youth and the general public on the importance of peace and safety. Officer in charge at the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNDP Christophe Capel, underscored the threat firearms pose to students and the urgent need to protect children from violence.
Your voice matters. You might be wondering, what can I do? I'm yet just a student, right? Let me tell you, you are one of the most powerful voices in this fight, because you are the leaders of tomorrow. You can educate your community, friends, and classmates about the dangers of illegal firearms. Knowledge is a shield. You can start or join school clubs that promote peace, safety, and dialogue. Change begins with conversation.
The school prefect of O'Reilly SHS, Nana Abba Safuabaini, said the students of O'Reilly Senior High School have pledged their commitment to non-violence.
Let's talk health in the northern part of Ghana, where the Northern Regional Directorate of the Ghana Health Service has intensified its efforts in administering treatment to over 5,000 children from 3 months to 5 years under the seasonal malaria chemoprevention program. According to the Directorate, the seasonal malaria chemoprevention program has shown significant impact on malaria control, particularly in areas with high seasonal transmissions. The seasonal malaria chemoprevention is being implemented in 69 districts in 7 regions. Let's take you to Tamale now to engage my colleague Christopher Mwako on the malaria situation in the region. I beg your pardon. Chris, many thanks for your time. We know that malaria tops OPD cases in the region. Paint a picture for us to know especially which cases have been reported and how it is being tackled.
Yes, so since 2011, under 5 malaria cases have been something that has claimed more lives in the northern region. According to data from the Ghana Health Service here in the region, over 500 children died between 2011 as a result of malaria. But since the commencement of the seasonal malaria chemo prevention program in 2019, the malaria cases have gone down. As we speak, in 2024, only 23 reported cases of malaria in under 5 malaria cases recorded fatalities. And so since the beginning of this year, 2025, from January to July, there hasn't been any reported case of under 5 malaria deaths in the region. And so according to the Ghana Health Service, they are making some significant improvement in the fight against malaria, especially in children under 5 years. Let's take a listen to what the Directorate has been saying.
Figures. In 2013, we're having about over 500 malaria deaths, and out of which over 300 of them were children. Last year, we had our case fatality of around 0.33. That means out of every 100 children that came to our facilities and were admitted for malaria, 33 of them died. That was last 2 years, in 2023. Last year, 2024, we had 0.23 23. That means 23 out of, so it means that it is short of some 10 persons. This year, as we say, 2025, we have not recorded any malaria death in any institution across the region. It's not been reported that any child has died from malaria. When we talk of malaria, we are very particular about children under 5 because these are the vulnerable. They fall among the vulnerable or the group that are at risk of dying from malaria. We are not so scared about contracting malaria. What we are scared of is dying from malaria. And children, because of their low immunity, their immunity have not fully developed. Children under 5, they are at risk of dying from malaria. And so when we have this kind of reduction, it just tells us that all the numerous interventions that we are implementing are actually working.
So far, we know the U.S. government has been funding this for over years. How is the cut of U.S. aid affecting this program?
Yes, so usually last year, 2 years ago, they were able to do this for 5 consecutive months. They started in July, August, September, October, November. Unfortunately, this year, they will not be able to do the 5 because of the funding cuts. And so it is going to have an impact on how the dosage is going to be administered onto the children because this time they are going to do only 4. So 1 month short of the vaccination. And so for the health officials here, it is a very big concern to them because if they were able to do the 5, it will help them to be able to eliminate malaria in the region within a certain period of time. But this time that they are reducing the number of months that they administer this drugs to their children, then it means that it's not going to be an easy task for them. Let's take a listen to what the directorate has to say on the funding gaps.
The funding has been cut, and so we have to do 4 rounds of SMC. Kind courtesy the Global Fund. They are currently funding the exercise. But we are hoping that our leaders, the governments and everybody will put their hands together and work together and see how they can fill in this gap moving forward. I think this particular year is been very challenging. If you look at the money and the funds required, the amounts we've been paying to volunteers and the amount of money that we've been paying to supervisors, the stop order notice has actually affected us. We have to cut down on the number of supervisors, cut down on the number of volunteers because we have to increase the workload for volunteers to do. And all this impacts on the quality. But nonetheless, we are hoping that our leaders, especially the government, will fill in the gap so that subsequently we can continue to implement SMC seamlessly.
Christopher Marco is our Northern Regional Correspondent. Let's talk cashew farming now.
Indeed, and the Ghana Cashew Farmers Association is demanding a radical overhaul of cashew industry to secure fairer profits and safeguard their livelihoods from the growing threats of climate change and market exploitation. At the forefront of their demands is the establishment of a dedicated cashew board, a regulatory body they believe is crucial to mirror the successes seen in Ghana's highly organized cocoa.
The cashew industry in Ghana navigates a complex chain of intermediaries before reaching exporters. According to the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, cashew farmers in Ghana lose an estimated $100 million annually due to intermediaries. These multi-layered system, farmers argue, significantly dilute their earnings.
Yes. See, there are so many, let's say, aggregators in between, and it affects the farmer. If you look at cocoa, a farmer takes his cocoa, goes to the buyer straight away and sell it to him. If you look at mango, the buyers come to the farmer and buy it. Why is it only cashew? You have to give it to somebody else, sell it to another person before it gets to the exporter. The small profit that the farmer is supposed to get, you have to share with all these people.
The proposed cashew board, similar to the Ghana Cocoa Board, will empower farmer unions and societies to collectively organize and market their nuts. This centralized approach, they contend, will allow importers to deal directly with farmer groups, thereby eliminating middlemen and ensuring a larger share of profits for the primary producers. Price fluctuation puts a lot of pressures on farmers, so we are pleading with President Mahama to come to our aid and build the cashew board he promised to build for us, so we can also get a stable price like the cocoa industry. We no longer want to deal with the minimums. We want a stable price for our products.
Unions and societies. What we want to do is to let the societies and the unions organize the farmers, get all the nuts together. Then the importer can come to the union or the society and take it from there. I believe in this case, the farmer can get enough income for him or herself.
Beyond market access, the cashew industry is increasingly vulnerable to ravages of pests and diseases, a challenge exacerbated by Ghana's changing climate patterns, causing significant yield losses and compromising the quality of the nuts. In 2024, the cashew industry recorded about 161,000 metric tons decline in cashew production, amounting to 30% of the annual production due to unfavorable weather conditions and pest infestation. The Municipal Agriculture Director is advocating for crucial support in developing and distributing high-yielding and disease-resistant seeds to combat these threats.
Due to climate change, there are proliferation of pests and diseases which reduces the quality of the cashew and also the yield. So we want the government to help us get seeds that are high yielding and quality, resistant to pests and diseases, such that farmers can obtain higher yield.
You're still watching Weekend Central live from our studios here at Adesanwe Kanda in Accra. My name is Judith Brown. We're going for our very second break. We'll be back with more news. Don't go away.
Welcome back to the program. National Security Task Force has, in a collaborative effort with a local task force in northern region, seized and destroyed large quantities of opioids and other hard substances worth millions of Ghana cedis. The items include over 1,000 packs of 120 milligrams of tramadol and over 75 big rolls of marijuana.
The National Security Liaison Office and the Northern Regional Coordinating Council inaugurated two special committees known as Enforcement and Sensitization Committees, comprising security operatives and other stakeholders to combat the sale and usage of illicit drugs in the Northern region. Since the inauguration of the committees, Thousands of boxes of hard drugs have been seized and destroyed. The formation of these committees became necessary following the surge in drug abuse and trafficking cases in the region. Close to half the population of the youth in the region are said to be engaged in the use of illicit drugs. Leader of the local task force intimated that the task force remains committed in the fight against drugs.
Very weak, the regional security coordinator came to office. That is the very week we started this issue with him in secrecy. But today I'm making it very clear. So it is that effort he took to the formation of the regional security. But we have been doing this, as the press is aware. We have been doing this, but we have never had this massive as it is today.
He revealed that Gushegu is fast becoming a transit point for the drugs.
If you are putting up Gushegu district, we don't want to be mentioning and singling out a district, but Gushegu currently is a transit point for all the drugs. I want to believe 70% of this product that we have is from the Gushegu district. They cut it through Gushegu, come to Zoa, to Savulugu, and the motor kings and motorbikes will now cut it in pieces. But thank God, we also do this in collaboration with the regional secretary. We buy information for this. We don't just go in for it. We buy information. At the point in time, we paid 10,000 for an issue, but we didn't have that vehicle.
For the National Security Liaison Officer, Suleimana Zantiana, his outfit will continue to fight illicit drugs in the region.
Part of our region is now being soaked into a canker. And this canker is chopping into our fabrics. And I've realized that the youth of today are involved. And those youth, they are our future leaders. So we have a very good collaboration with the local task force and other stakeholders. No one found to be broken any law shall be shielded. But if you break the law, you will not be shielded.
And we're going to take you back to the 3FM Baby Fair because it's back bigger and better with the third edition of the much anticipated event currently underway at the Marina Mall in Accra. Well, it's a vibrant gathering of parents, caregivers and industry experts all coming together to explore the latest in baby care, parenting essentials and family wellness. We're going to take you back there because AJ Sapon is standing by with the latest. AJ, tell us what's happening.
Live here at the 3FM Baby Fair. We're live from Marina Mall and welcoming all our viewers on TV3 and live on 3FM 92.7. So many different activities. A live band in the back getting ready to serenade us all weekend long. But we also have a published author on the ground who's also doing some readings. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Crystal Boatsing, and I am an author, as AJ said. I write children's books, and I also sell children's books. So today I'll be reading some of my books. One of them right here is Efia the Ashanti Princess. Yes, it talks about visiting Ghana with my children, and it talks about going to Kumasi, visiting the Menchia Palace. So please stop by, come over, listen to some of the stories, check out the books that I have. I have the books for every budget, from 10 CDs, 20 CDs. I'm trying to cater to every parent. Please read to your children. So stop by and listen to the stories and grab a book for your children.
Absolutely. Now, if you're a parent, you should definitely be doing some reading to the kids to inculcate the habit of reading. So Efia the Ashanti Princess is something I'm definitely taking with me. I'm a child of the Lord too, so at least I'm a baby. So so please come through. We have Crystal Boating doing some reading in the reading corner, as well as having some books along with it. Also, we have our kids area going really well. Now, our kids are jumping around, having a great time. Also, we have the Pediatric Society of Ghana here with us, and we have one of them representing Dr. Nestina, and we are here on ground so parents can be able to speak to the pediatrician. So please tell us about how the talk with the pediatrician is going today.
Yes, so far so good. We've had quite a number of children and parents coming to have talks with us. Some are asking their own questions, but we're also educating them for this time on diabetes, type 1 diabetes. And some of the adolescents know quite a lot. So we need to make sure that we explore that, because health is very important and children can understand their health. So once they are also educated, once they are also aware of the symptoms, it really helps a lot to diagnose them early. So right now, I think one of the families is being tended to. So we are open. Whatever questions you have, come with them. We also educate you on other things depending on the age of your child. If it's a teenager, non-communicable diseases. If it's a young child, the development protection of the child, screen time and all that. So do feel free, come around for you the whole day.
I love it. So yes, the chairperson of the Pediatric Society of Ghana here, along with other members of the medical field, doing some screening, speaking to parents and families on pediatric health. Now, also on the health of the children, especially when it comes down to cultivating the reading and learning habits. We have time, we have our learning time here as well. And learning time is specialized in trying to ensure that in terms of the different kinds of ways your child can learn. Joel, tell me a little bit about it.
All right, so learning time specializes in helping children excel, not just through school. So you have parents, oh, my child is smart. But what is making a child smart is stopping class, is scoring this percentage in exams. We don't take so much concern on that. What we focus on is to help the child understand themselves and how they can use their immediate environment to influence the world through science. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So learning time is available.
So make sure you make your way to the Marina Mall where the 3FM Baby Fair is currently happening, and make sure you get all the essentials as regards to babies. You have a baby you're going to buy something for?
Not yet. Oh, you do have one?
Oh, yes, and I have nephews and nieces as well. Yeah.
Interesting. And that's how we bring the bulletin to an end this afternoon. We will come your way same time tomorrow at 12. So do make some time to tune in. I'm Godwin Asidiba.
And I am Judith Brown. Bye-bye.